they're just like a couple difference when you have to cross a railroad. So
Okay. All right, hold on.
Don't fuck with them hoes.
Hey, horror fans. Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. Yes, once again, we're going to do our official Chucky Season 2 live stream. Obviously, we did this last year with Jen and Christian. Yes, unfortunately, Gory B Movie will not be joining us tonight. She just DM'd me about 15 minutes ago that she said she had to bow out for tonight. Understandable. Like I told her before, always got to take care of yourself. And again, I apologize for people who unfortunately I had the schedule for last week, but unfortunately, I got sick with the flu. Yes, unfortunately, we all can't fight it. So, but here it is
it
once again.
happens. It happens. Life happens.
Uh-huh. And once again, I am once again honored with the great Jen from Jen's Review in the Crave, minus Christian.
Guess who else got the flu just like today? He started
Yeah.
talking about it today. I think it's going around, Monty.
Oh yeah, it's going around all right. Yeah. So it's just the two of us tonight. So we're still going to get this show on the road. No, obviously, I'm pretty sure you've heard, and my also heard a lot of people not liking season 2 of Chucky. Some people had their own aspects of it. I know, especially the last episode. I really did not like the season finale of Chucky 2. I actually thought there were some aspects I liked, some aspects I didn't like, especially did not like the ending of that episode right here. First of all, we have some people in the chat. Tatum is here. She wanted to say all to all three of us. And of course, my good friend Simon, he's saying all right there. So, overall, what do you think about as far as season 2 is concerned? What was your overall feelings about season 2 of Chucky?
I really enjoyed season two. It's a mixed bag for me because on the one hand, it started off slow. There were a couple episodes, and I was thinking, oh, this isn't quite as good as the first. I wonder if it's going to go downhill in quality. But then we kind of hit a couple episodes in, and then it really started to catch our stride. Now, I will say that while I enjoyed this season, and there's some really powerful moments, and I really like some of the character development with a few of the characters, I still think this first season is better. But overall, I did enjoy and have a lot of fun. This was a very fun season for me.
Yeah, I think it was a fun season. There are some aspects of the season 2 that I enjoyed. I think the what they're called the three amigos between Jake, Devin, and Lexi. I think Lexi had the best story arc out of the three amigos. Um, I did like some of the aspects they had in when they went to the school. Obviously, I like the actor that portrayed Glenn and Glenda. I think I like that. But some of the other stuff I really didn't like. It felt too much like Seed of Chucky for me, which of course. For my opinion, that's when it comes to the Chucky, that's the bottom bottom feeder for me. When it comes to the Chucky films, too much Seed of Chucky for me. It seems like for some reason, instead of taking the more serious
See,
tone
now
that they did in season 1, it kind of changed the tone a little bit.
it did. It did change. I'm sorry, Money. Some of it I'm getting, and some of it's cutting out. So I'm trying to keep up.
Okay.
It did change its tone a little bit. See, now I am in the camp. I really like Seed of Chucky. Like, it's not my favorite in the franchise, but I've never gotten a hate with like a lot of people do. I can see where some people like you do not particularly enjoy the entry, but I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun, and definitely, I think Dawn was definitely giving a bone to people who do like Seed. I think we're a small minority, but I think there are some fans out there who really enjoyed Seed, and I think those are the fans that are really going to dig this season of Chucky.
Mhm. Yeah. Obviously, when the season starts, it's we get they're back in Hackensack. We see the three amigos. They're still in Hackensack. We see Devin. He's with his foster brother. And of course, Chucky comes and he kills his foster brother. You say you did not like the way how that started. What was that particular problem, how that started, and them going into the and what's it, incarnate school?
I no, that was more Christian. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I actually kind of liked it, but I felt it really gave a lot of tension for Jake, because he feels so guilty about, because you could see there was a bond. He felt like a family connection, and that even though his foster parents seemed like kind of dicks on
Mm,
other stuff, and so when Chuck killed him, it really put a stressor on him and Devin's relationship, because you can see as further episodes go along, him and Devin really kind of broke apart. Now, I do love how we kind of get a happier ending toward the end of the episode and stuff. But for a while there, in some of the episodes, they were kind of on the rocks, and I cared about it. So I didn't have too much of a problem with it. But I did think it was a very interesting for him to go through this and have yet another loss in his life. He seems to always be going through loss.
mhm. Yeah, I really didn't have a problem with their relationship because obviously, you can't have lovey-dovey all the time. So obviously, I like the cracks in their relationship. Obviously, Devin has a much more how can I put this, more fanatical approach when it comes to dealing with Chucky, mainly because of his own frustrations with Chucky. He killed his mother. So he has no trust at all when it comes to any of the Chuckies. Obviously, one of the more
Mhm.
fascinating aspects I liked about the Chucky is when they tried to deprogram Chucky, a la the Clockwork Orange. What do you thought about that when they tried to deprogram Chucky?
Yeah, I like Sweet Chucky. I really thought Sweet Chucky people was kind of a mixed bag, but I liked it and I bought it, and I thought it was like first him just playing around with everybody, but no, he really was sweet. This and said no, he really was sweet. He just had a glitch, and that also led to one of the best part for me, one of my favorite parts in the season with what happens with Nadine.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that obviously I like Nadine. Nadine was a great character. It was a shame that she did not survive the whole season, but I really did love the supposedly good Chucky, as they said in the show. Obviously, Devin, he doesn't think anything about it because of his own characteristics. What do you thought about them bringing Devin Suave back as his new character, Father Bryce?
Ah, yeah, I love Devin Sawa. He's back again, and I'm very curious how we're going to be bringing. If we do get a third season, I'm very curious how Devin Sawa's coming back. You know what? It was an interesting arc with Father Bryce, because for a lot of the episodes, you thought, is this guy just a dick? And then when we get the revelations that no, I thought that was handled very smart and very cleverly, because we find out that no, he doesn't hate Jake and Devin. And it's kind of made sense to some of his actions, because while he was harsh with them at times, he wasn't as harsh as he could have been. And then you find out why in the last episode when everyone's doing the confession episode, and he has all the he went to the church, and he's not such a bad guy after all. He's an old man, and so it gave a lot of layers, and it kind of gave you some twists and turns and really surprised you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually enjoyed his confession at the end of the episode, and at the end of that episode, where we actually finally see his true character, and that he's not a bad man. He actually believes in what he's doing is true, and he's just simply just trying to get Jake and Devin and Lexi onto the right path. Obviously, talking about Lexi now. Obviously, she
Mhm.
has her own issues in trying to forget
Mhm.
about what happened to her and Junior in the previous season. So she decides to take drugs. So did you like that aspect that she decided to take drugs and become a drug
I
addict
I did.
and just simply just have sex with anybody?
You know what? I thought it was true, because that's the way some people go down, and it was just her way. She was just trying to cope and numb the pain. She was literally self-medicating herself, and but it really shows the poignancy. I And some people might say it's a little syrupy, but my mom was an addict and
Hmm.
stuff, and she gives the story about the hamsters and stuff, and we get it, and because they have this really beautiful, and they're such different people, you'd think that these two characters would not have anything in common, but by the end of the season they really do have this bond, almost like a sisterly bond, and they really do love each other, and I loved how we went there, and Nadine was definitely the heart of the whole show, and which makes it even harder for what happens with her character a little bit down the road, but I really liked the whole dynamic, and I thought that she was just hurting. She was just a person hurting. And then she didn't even have Jake and Devin because they were, having their own relationship drama. So she felt like she didn't have anyone to turn to. And then she found Nadine. So it really, everything works really well.
Hmm. Now, obviously, we know about Dr. Mixer. Now, obviously, I kind of guessed Dr. Mixer had some uh, nefarious reasons, the reason why she sent them to the school. I kind of guessed that in the first episode. I'm assuming that's what you probably did when we first saw Dr. Mixer prior to her reveal later on in the season.
I Oh, I did. I placed my bets and I told Sparky. Sparky was like, no way. And I'm like, oh, yes, wait. That she's a part of this. She's part of this. She's evil. And yeah, I had a feeling that this is where we were going to go. Just in character, I kind of wish we would have gotten a little bit more backstory with her and Chucky when Chucky was younger, but we didn't get as much. But still, she was a fun character. And I love how in the church, when they're doing the exorcism, how she's like, everyone's kind of mystified and holified. And she's just there like, come on, people, we had an agreement. I have things to do. She's not at all interested in the whole spiritual exorcism stuff. And I love the way the actress plays that. It's really fun.
Yeah, I know. I wish we would have spent more time in that character to see, when she first meets Charles Lee Ray when he was a kid, and we get to see, all right, well, let's go on ahead and let's experiment. Let's see more about that character and how does she become so obsessed with Chucky or Charles in that character. I want to see a little bit more of that.
Mhm.
We only get to see about a little bit about it in the final episode, but yeah, I kind of suspected that she had ulterior motives as the reason why she sent that school because wait a minute, who's sending these Chucky, who's sending these good guy dolls from the school at the same time that they're arriving?
Monty, you're cutting in and out. I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to leave in. I couldn't hear a lot of what you said. You're cutting in and out. I am so sorry about this. My internet sucks. I will come in and out. I so apologize.
That's okay. Go ahead
I
and do what you need
couldn't
to
get
do.
any of that. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. I Thank
All
you.
right.
Sorry about this.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Looks like she's having internet problems. Yeah, Stevie, keep in mind that we are spoiling some part of season two. So while we're waiting for Jen to come on back, yeah, we are spoiling some parts. So hopefully, you get to actually still will enjoy season two. All right.
Yeah, I am so sorry about this, money. I am so sorry.
Hey, look, I know. Trust me, I know the thing about doing live streams. We sort of had that problem sometimes when I do the live streams with Night and the Deadly Venoms. I always have this particular problem. It's one time when we had a problem. Strange Monkey, he had such audio problem. He had to use a whiteboard, and we joke about that.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. It's still, if I'm a little slower delayed to talk to you, you're still, I can hear some of what you're saying, but it's still kind of a little
Mhm.
jumbled. So if I don't appear to catch what it is, I'm not that slow. It's just the audio. I apologize. I feel so bad.
Oh man. Obviously, we have to talk about the Tiffany-centric episode. I think that took place in episode 4. What do you thought about that episode? And we finally get introduced to Glenn and Glenda.
Mhm. I really love I love anything to do with Jennifer Tilly slash Jennifer Tilly to slash Tiffany. It makes you go cross-eyed though, like the whole storyline. It kind of made you go cross-eyed. But I love the reveal, and I also love that we brought in her sister Meg Tilly. I hadn't seen Meg Tilly in anything, and I love that we brought this in. And I mean, it just was so freaking meta, and you felt like your eyes were going cross-eyed. And then when we kill doll Jennifer Tilly, Tiffany, but in Jennifer Tilly and Tiffany's body, the big thing, it makes you cross-eyed, but it's a lot of fun. I know some fans were a little pissed about it, but I really enjoyed it. It was like, okay, but I'm very curious as to what we're going to do now. And I feel bad that Jennifer Tilly.
Uh-oh. Kind of went
Oh
out
no,
there.
again. I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I just was saying it was so awesome to see Tilly kind of Jennifer Tilly, died in Tiffany doll form. It really sucked.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed because I actually thought that maybe they would switch and we would see Tiffany go back into the Belle doll and actually see the real Jennifer Tilly go back into her body. I was hoping for that, but when I saw when she ran out of the car and she got out,
Yeah,
I says, "Oh, something bad is going to happen," and eventually it does. It does. Yes.
yeah. It really does. But it was a fun way. Like this is just fun. You can't, I will say you can't have where people say, this doesn't have any rules. That's one of the things I've heard for a lot of detractors, that this show doesn't have any rules. But really, you know what? This is fun. The campiness and the funness has always been a part of this franchise. And sometimes you just got to go with it and just have fun. And that's what I look at as Chucky. It's just something you have fun with. And I know some people want a little more structured and a little bit more, serious, but I'm having fun with it. And maybe next season we'll get them. It's very capable. Some of the movies are a little more serious. Some of them are a little more camp. But the camp
Mm.
has always been embraced in Chucky,
Oh yeah,
the Child's
there's
Play
some.
franchise.
I mean, there is some campiness into it. Like in the episode where we had sort of like a Chucky TV show, and we saw the Russell Liv Morgan make an appearance on there, which I
Mhm.
thought was kind of fun, and it was kind of funny too because
Mhm.
she actually the actual she said one of the things she would love to have is have Chucky kill her, and that's what Chucky does, and he actually
Mhm.
stabs her, and I thought it was pretty meta on that particular fact because that's one of the things that she wanted to do was that, hey, look, I would love to be on Chucky and have him kill me. And I thought that was pretty funny. One of the other complaints that I heard about the
Mhm.
show was the queer factor. And which is not surprising. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
you have obviously you have Devin and Jake on the show right there, and then of course we have the Tiffany centric episode where we actually get some Bond moments on the show when Gina Brashan and Jennifer Tilly had their little scene right there. Oh wow, Katie, thanks. Wow, long time no see. Thanks for joining us. It's been a long, long time.
Um,
Long time to see her on YouTube. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I haven't seen. I hope everything's going fine. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving too. Thanks for
Hello.
stopping by.
Oh, the queer factor. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go. Yeah, yeah. The queer factor in the show. A lot of people didn't like it.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead.
No. You know what? I'm still having trouble hearing and going. I apologize, but I'll have to step out one more time. Let me try this one more time because I'm missing big chunks of the conversation, and
Okay.
I'm such a disservice to you and to our chat, and I apologize. I am so sorry for this.
That's okay. Yeah, it must be one of these bad nights where we're just having audio problems.
I'm so Yes, because I can hear like half of what you're saying, like chunks of it, and then
Hmm.
some of it just gets completely silent. So I don't. I apologize. I apologize. Let me try this
Okay.
one more time. Am I coming in choppy to you, or can you hear
Oh
pretty
no,
much everything
I
I'm
hear you
saying?
I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, everyone can. I will try one more time.
Yeah. So once again, thanks, Katie, for showing up by. Yeah, so glad you actually stopped by. Hope everything is fine with you and your family, and hope, like I said before, hope you had a happy and safe Thanksgiving too. Really haven't had any problems with SteamYard when it comes to technical difficulties. Every once in a while, you will have some problems. Sometimes when I record on SteamYard, sometimes the video can cut out sometimes, but never actually had any problems. The first time I actually had a problem um, with audio issues with SteamYard. But it is the bane of doing live streams. Okay.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll try to talk a little slower so that way hopefully you'll be able to see what I was saying. Like I said before, some people did not like the queer aspect of the show, mainly due not only to Jake and Devin, but also to Glenn and Glenda. They did not like that. Obviously, I had no problems with it because this is the aspect of the show. This is what you cannot ignore what's happening in today's society. But obviously, you're not going to make everybody happy.
No, but you know what? I don't understand why people have a problem because this is how some people who they choose to love. I'm a person. I don't really care. Who you go to bed with as long as it's legal and not against anyone's will. I don't really care who you go to bed with. So I don't really understand. But like you said, you're not going to make everybody happy. But if you don't like it, then just don't watch. And again, like the campiness and stuff has always been a part of Chucky, and the queerness belief, it's always been there. And but so I don't see why there's a problem. Like the people that say, "Oh, I'm a major Chucky fan," you got to embrace all of it. You can't just pick apart the pieces you like.
Yeah, yeah. There's either you like the whole show, but if you don't like the queer factors of it, then don't watch it. Then if that's something you don't like, then don't watch it. Go watch something else. Yeah, and obviously one of
Yeah, and
the go
exactly.
ahead.
And I agenda. I think they're just showing you. I'm sorry, another aspect of people who have different kinds of relationships. It's nice to be represented, and I think Dawn is like, okay, there are certain people and relationships that's never really, we've had little lights on them. It's nothing exactly revolutionary or new, but they don't get represented as much, and people always want to see, oh, that's like me, that's like us. It's, I think representation is a good thing, and that way you feel like you belong somewhere.
Yeah, Tatum, as I stated earlier in the show, like I said, I had a DM earlier from Gory. She unfortunately could not come to the live stream tonight. She had other issues going on, so that's why she's not in here. Yeah, because a couple of people had asked about her, and just like I said at the beginning of the show, like I said, she DM me earlier before we went live that she would not be able to come onto the live stream. Like I said, stuff happens. Like I got sick last week. Your son is sick. You always have to take care of yourself first before you do anything else. I would never force a person to do something that hey, look, you know,
Exactly.
she had, so you gotta always say take care of yourself first. That's the first thing I always want to do.
Exactly.
hmm Yeah, so eventually we get to these Chuckies, and obviously mainly because of this last season where we had all the Chuckies that Andy went across the and killed in the beginning of the season. Now we got the good Chucky, and then we have this beef Chucky. So, what do you thought about that aspect of the show when we had the good Chucky versus the strong Chucky?
I didn't mind it. I was actually having fun, but Christian brought up a good point about this. Like at the end, like you thought there was going to be some payoff, and they just pretty much all these the buff Chucky and good Chucky. They all, they we didn't have as much of a point with them as we thought we were going to. It was like we led up there and we didn't get much of a payoff. I was having fun with it, particularly the good Chucky, and the buff Chucky was fun. And I loved the scene with him, doing his feet, like Mary Magdala. I really loved that scene in the thing. I thought it was a lot of fun. But some people would say that it was kind of a waste of time because really, what happens? They got killed off pretty easily when they needed to be. But I was having fun with it, honestly.
Yeah, and I didn't mind seeing when we get the Colonel Chucky going up against the Buff Chucky. I really didn't mind that because obviously the Colonel Chucky is using brains over brawn, and the fact that he put arsenic in his waffle in his waffle a waffle cookie, So that's I didn't really didn't mind that.
Yeah.
What do you thought about the Colonel, the character Colonel Chucky? Obviously, he's coming from Apocalypse Now. So, what do you thought about the Colonel Chucky?
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this one a lot. Like I just loved, hearing Brad Dourif doing an impersonation of Marlon Brando and the Apocalypse Now reference. I thought it was good. Like it's just a Chucky that went off the rails, and I love the fact that he was eating Andy's leg. I thought that was a lot of fun. Cannibalism, you know me, Monty. I'm always for a good cannibal scene. So I was very happy with it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Again, some people might say it went a little silly, but I was for it. I'm always pro cannibalism, even in doll form. I'm pro cannibalism.
I didn't mind it. One of the problems a lot of people have is that we know that Andy was captured and he spent a whole year while this guy is eating his leg, and obviously when he finally gets rescued by Lexi and Devin, and we see in the next scene he's fine, but where's the gangrene? Where's the infection? There's simply no way in the world Dr. Mixer actually kept him healthy all that time. Do you think that scene went a bit too far?
Yeah. I think I know that was a problem some people had. I know that was a problem some people had with that, but I was okay with it because I was just glad that we got some time with Andy. I was really glad we got some time with Andy, and I would have been more sad if they had if it had done damage to Andy. So I was fine with it. It was a little technical thing, and yeah, he probably should have been more worse for wear than he was, but I was fine with it.
Uh-huh. uh, were you finally happy when Nika finally escaped from Tiffany's clutches, and we find out that Kyle is still alive?
I'm sorry, Monty, I didn't get some of that.
I said, were you
I'm
happy
so
when
sorry.
Nika escaped from Tiffany, and we find out that Kyle is still alive?
Oh yes. Oh God, yes. It was so. I was like, yes. Oh, I was happy on both counts. I loved it when Nika gets her revenge on Tiffany, and she's just rolling down that driveway. I was going and on that scene shot, and I knew, I was not shocked that Kyle was still alive. I had a pretty good idea, but I was glad that she was still alive, and that we got the reunion between her and Andy. I was so happy. I liked how Andy and Kyle kind of got away. They kind of walked off in the sunset, and they showed from two. I really like that, but I kind of hope that if we do get a season 3, that we'll still get more. We didn't get as much time with Kyle and Andy as I thought we were going to, and I'm kind of hoping we might see some more of them in season 3.
To be honest, I hope not. I think it was nice seeing them in season 1,
Really?
and yeah, and it was nice seeing them season 1. Nice seeing Alex Vincent and the actress that played her in Chucky and Child's Play 2, and seeing her again. But I think we need to move away from them because we give them their happy conclusion. They think Chucky's dead. We really don't need to see any more of Andy and Kyle again. Let them go about their whole business. Let's just go on ahead and just focus on the three amigos if you want to continue focusing on them. But enough with Andy and Kyle.
Really? Okay, that's cool. Would you be okay if you got a small dose here and there of them, occasionally one or every once in a while they pop in, or do you just that's okay? They're just living their best lives somewhere off screen.
I just prefer just to have them live their lives off screen. That's that. I don't think you can do anything more
Gotcha.
with those characters. It's just like with Scream. You know, you had the legacy characters. Now you finally did kill off one of them, and but there's really nothing more you can do with Sydney,
Mhm.
Gale, or Dewey. I mean, you've done them to death. It's time to move on. That's why I didn't mind the new characters in the Scream movie that came out earlier
Yeah.
this year. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that more next Thursday. Thursday, but it's the same thing here. It's like sometimes it's nice to see legacy characters like we did in Scream, um, like we did in Jurassic Park. But sometimes it's if you want to actually try to do something
Mhm.
new and different, and stick to some new and great characters and not the same ones that we've seen time and time again.
I get that. That makes a lot of sense. That does. That makes sense. I see your point. I guess I'm just one of those ones. Give me more of the same. I don't want a full plate of them, but I wouldn't mind seeing occasionally.
Yeah, so finally we get to the Exorcist show where we get to see the exorcism, and you get to see your favorite part of the season. Like I said
Yes.
before, the
Oh
minute he
yes.
did show up,
Yes.
I said, "Oh no, Jen is going to love this."
Yes. But the one thing but Monty, what about the Gemini killer? They had Brad Dourif. How come they make any Gemini? That was so weird to me. They didn't. They made allusions to the other exorcists, but they didn't have anything with the Gemini. I thought that was so weird.
Um, you know. it's amazing because I actually expected to see aspects of the Gemini Killer during that Exorcist episode. I said, "Oh no, don't tell me to do the Gemini. If to do the Gemini Killer, I'm gonna freak out." Because as much as I love the Gemini Killer
See, I
in
was
three,
okay.
and as much as I love the Exorcist, I was saying, "Oh man, what if Brad Dourif probably sneaks in a part of the Gemini
Uh-huh.
Killer?" But I guess he decided not to do it. But it would have been fun if he actually did it, though.
I thought that was so weird. They didn't though. That was like my one complaint about it. I was like, "You got Brad Dourif right there. Why didn't you do it?" I was like, "Oh man."
Michael Joel says, "Do you think Chucky will get a new movie?"
I hope so. I hope so. Well, I'm really enjoying the show. I think I kind of like going back and forth, and I hope we do because I know Cult of Chucky was kind of a mixed bag for horror fans, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends upon what Universal wants to do. If they're going to come up with a third season of Chucky, or they might decide, hey, look, let's just go on ahead and do another movie. It depends upon what Universal wants to do with the show and or the character. Now, of course, I got to talk about the final episode of the
Mhm.
season where we
Would
get
you
where
like to see
everyone.
another movie?
I wouldn't mind seeing another movie. Um, Obviously, I'll talk about this later, but because obviously I'm pretty sure everyone knows about Megan coming out next year, and we've already got the Team Megan, and or are you Team Megan or
Yeah,
Team Chucky? So I'm pretty sure that that's going to be pretty interesting. It all
Team
depends.
Chucky.
It was up, Jose. It all depends upon how great Megan will be because Megan has
Mhm.
to have to generate enough interest where we will get people clamoring for Megan and Chucky to get together. And because I think, if I understand correctly, I think Brad Dourif actually has put up some videos talking about Megan as Chucky. I haven't found them yet, but I was trying to see if I can because he's actually made some statements about Megan as Chucky, and of course, people are just dying laughing. But that's going to be pretty interesting when she comes out next year. But obviously, the final episode in the
It would
season, I
be.
think.
I'd actually love to see them as a couple, maybe. Like I'm seeing them as a couple for like a little while. Then maybe getting Tiffany all jealous.
um, Obviously, in the final episode, I think we get one of the best kills in the season with that silent saw of hers, a la Art the Clown. Because when Chucky kills Mayor Cross, the first thing came to mind was Art the Clown. Do you think that was the best kill in season two when he kills Mayor Cross?
Yes, really all the kills in this show. This season got really bloody. Not that the season wasn't. This season got particularly bloody, but I think everyone's fan silent chainsaw. It's so good. Door uses this for the inflections. How he uses the chainsaw. It's his best Christmas present ever. I mean, it's really cute and tongue in cheek. And I like the mixture of that because that was a very sweet Christmassy episode. And then you get Jake and Devin who kind of reconciliate and kind of get back on the right path. And they're having this heartfelt conversation. And Lexi's like, "That's nice, guys, but I need to go to sleep." And you get this really sweet moment. And then carnage ensues, which is a good way to describe Chucky.
Oh yeah, it's typical. You go, oh wow, we got a nice episode, but here comes Chucky down the chimney, which I thought was pretty funny. Hey, look, it's
Yeah,
nice you
I
guys
loved
back
it.
together. It's nice you guys get back together, but I'm trying to get some damn sleep. And they all laugh. And next thing you know, here comes the Chucky down
That's
with that
nice.
silent saw. Now, one of the things
Mhm,
I did
mhm.
not like at all was the revelation that Caroline was not Lexi's sister, and she's supposed to be Tiffany's mother. Now, I'm one for twist.
Yes.
As long as they make sense and it drives the narrative. We were never getting any subtle hints about Caroline. Yes, we knew that there was something wrong with the child. we saw in season one, but we didn't really get anything at all about Caroline. And all of a sudden, they dropped this on us, and it's like, what the hell? Where did that come from? What do you think about that aspect of Caroline all of a sudden not being Lexi's sister and that she's Tiffany's mother?
You know what? I'm reserving my, like, I'm kind of like you on one hand, because we didn't get a lot of, that just kind of, they just dropped it on our lap, boom, we didn't get any sort of foreshadowing or anything like that. But I also think that if they handle it right, this could be a very interesting way to, I can't lie, I do like that Lexi's sister is now evil, and it could make a really interesting dynamic for Lexi, because she lost her mom and her. We have in the episode where her and her mom kind of made peace. They never have had a close relationship, but they kind of had that real moment at the dinner table, and it was really nice. And everyone in her life is dead, and now her little sister, her only family, is gone. So it can be interesting if done right. So I'm holding my judgment till now, but I can totally understand some people kind of pissed because it's not built up as well as it could have been. But I'm going to reserve my judgment for season 3, which is sort of a cop-out answer. I'm sorry, but honestly.
Yeah. For me, when that thing dropped, it felt for me that the writers didn't know what to do with her character, so they decided to say, let's just make her Tiffany's mom, because look, we all know that she had some type of darkness in her based upon her interactions with Chucky, and how she was, and how her how she was towards her sister and to her mother. Obviously we knew something was wrong with the child, but for them just to all of a sudden drop that on our laps, to me it felt as though the writers were copying out. And then we get to the reveal at the end of the season where we find out that the Bell doll was Chucky in disguise. What was your reaction to that?
That I love. Now that I love. Oh, I loved it. I loved it, Monty. I did. I was like, oh, boy, me. Now, okay, on the one hand, maybe it's a little bit, cliche, overdone, and dare I say stupid. I don't think it's stupid, but I could hear some people go, that's bullshit, man. I wasn't like that. I was like, oh my God, I am so here for it. If you think about it, that is such a Chucky thing to do. And I just loved how him and Tiffany are locked in this battle and stuff. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like, I know some people might say it's over the top, but I was like, yes, I'm here for this.
Scott, he loved it too. Yeah. I get that, Santa, because it's like I said before, because at first I didn't like it at all. And then I had to understand what the writer's coming from Chucky's point of view. It's a good way to hide in plain sight. And I guess the reason why they decided to do it, but for me, I think it would have been much better if they would have left that fact out and maybe hint that Chucky's still alive, and then bring that on into season 3, where we actually revealed that the Bell doll was Chucky in disguise. I think that would have been a better way to do it that way. Because to me, it's like, okay, we leave season 3 on a cliffhanger. Is Chucky still alive, or is he finally gone? Because we think Chucky Prime is dead. Is dead. But obviously, when we find out, like I said, just like when we get to the beginning part of the season finale, we find out that Chucky switched bodies with Dr. Mixer, and it was Dr. Mixer that Andy shot. I really have a problem with that. I actually thought it was kind of cute, because to me, it actually shows how clever Charles Lee Ray can be, other than just a staunch serial killer. He can actually be clever, which in some aspects really doesn't get explored with that character.
I can agree with you on that, but on the other, I think what it was is I think Don just wanted. I think Don likes to leave all these what you have in a cliffhanger because he's a big fan of Dallas. Who shot JR? Stay tuned for next season. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's so I can understand, and it could have maybe been written a little bit, but on just terms of campiness and fun, I was okay with it. But I can see where you're at, but it kind of just depends on what we do with season 3. This is one of those situations where it could totally fall apart, or it could be like, okay, that's actually pretty clever. So I'm reserving my judgment, which we're not sure we're getting yet, correct?
Yeah, there's been USA and Sci-Fi and Universal has not made any announcement that there's going to be a season three of Chucky. Just like, I mean, we knew automatically that there's going to be a season two of Chucky last year, but right now we don't know if there's going to be a season three. It hasn't been announced yet. I'm pretty sure maybe, I don't know, maybe before the end of the year or beginning of next year, we'll know for sure if we're going to get a season three of Chucky. One of the more surprising aspects of the season finale is we get to see Jake, Devin, and Lexi's teacher from season one. And then when they told her about Chucky, she's like, "Damn it,
Yes.
I knew it." And it's like, "Ooh, now I like that." What is she? Because one of the things we never know about when it comes to Charles Lee Ray, did he have any
I do too.
siblings that he did not kill? Did he had a brother or sister that he doesn't know? What other type of family did Charles Lee Ray have? Because we all know that he killed his. I don't know if he killed his father. We know he killed his mother. Did he have any siblings that we didn't know about that he didn't kill?
Hmm.
So that's going to be an interesting aspect to see about that character next season, because obviously she knows something about him that she was not surprised when Devin, Jake, and Lexi told her about Chucky, and it's like, damn it, I knew it.
Do you want to place your bets on who she is? Do you think it's a sibling, or do you think it's something else, or do you think she's someone else?
It could be a sibling or she could be something else. I don't know. Obviously, it's going to have something. It could be something to do with his past. It could be
Okay.
something to do with some new character that was in his life that we never knew about. She could be actually related to Tiffany, for all we know, because we have to remember that's not Jennifer Tilly
Oh,
we're
I
talking
didn't
about.
even think of that.
We're talking about yeah, but it could be some relative of Tiffany that we don't know about, or some other woman in Charles Lee Ray's past
Tiff-
that they're not exposed
You know,
yet. So
come to
that
think of it, Tiffany does have a Tiffany does have a sister. It was mentioned, I think, in Bride, because he's like, that would explain your sister. So possibly that's an interesting theory and one I didn't even think of.
hmm oh yeah, there's a lot they can explore with that relationship. If they do get a season three. Yeah. So overall, like I said before, as far as my overall feeling of the season two, like I said, wasn't as great as season one. There are some aspects I did love about season two. Obviously, the three amigos, Lexi. Really loved Nadine. I thought she was a great actress to the show. You know, Father Bryce, I thought he was pretty good. In the
Mhm.
character he portrayed in the show. Obviously, the actor that played Glenn and Glenda, I thought she was pretty good. I didn't like the fact that they decided to put them back into the doll again, and it didn't even leave any.
The doll.
Yeah, they didn't even leave any surprises because in the credits that roll, you actually see the name of the voice of the actor that played the that voiced the doll in Seed of Chucky. So when I saw when I saw the actor's name, I says, "Oh man, damn it! It would have been better if they did not list his name in the credits."
Yeah, it did kind of spoil it a little bit, I thought too. Christian also feels the same way you do about, because he really liked the characters that were playing, human form, Glenn and Glenda in the human form, and he's not crazy about the doll either. And kind of, I think he was glad that the doll kind of was written out of the storyline, that Glenda or Gigi was kind of written out for a while. I don't know, maybe Glenn and Glenda might come back. I know how we left them. That might be impossible. But this is Chucky, so anything is possible. Because I really did like the people portraying them. I really did. I thought they did an excellent job.
Oh yeah, they did an excellent job because they actually were be able to create their own personalities between Glenn and Glenda, and I really thought that the actor that portrayed them was great. I mean, the actor also did a great job when they were in They Slash Them. I thought that was one of the best aspects of that movie. And they did
Yes,
a fantastic job. Like I said, I was very disappointed that they decided to put themselves back in the
I
doll, but
thought so
I
too.
understand the reason why they did too. Um, so obviously, what do you
Mhm.
think is going to happen in season three? If obviously we haven't like say haven't heard any news yet, but what would you expect to see in season three as far as the three amigos are concerned?
I hope that Jake and Devin, like, I hope that they're going to be okay, but I kind of wonder if we're going to get some more rocky times with them and a lot more angst. And I'm very curious: is Lexi with her sister finding out about the what she found out about her sister? Is that going to make her like go deeper into a rabbit hole, or is she going to like rise up to the challenge and try to get to the bottom of all this fuckery and get her sister back? Because they still have a bond no matter what. And what is she going to try to get him out of the clutches of this evil thing, or is it going to be sister against sister? There's a lot of avenues to go, but see what happens. Like this season, I agree with you, was a little weaker than the first one. There were moments where it was really fun and it had a lot of heart. And while there was some craziness in this season, there was some deepness to it too. Like the thing with Devon Sawa, I thought that was very deep. I loved how they did the character of Nadine, and they didn't do any surprise twist with her. I thought, is she going to turn evil? No, she was just a generally nice person. And that kind of way to know that in this deeply troubled world, there's still good people like Nadine in it. So you really do care about these characters, and you want Jake and Devin to stay together, and you want them to have a family unit for Lexi, who is now an orphan just like they are. So
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going, but I'm very interested to see what we're going to do, and I trust Dawn.
Yeah, I would love to see Lexi find someone, because I think she deserves to have someone to be with, just like we have with Jake and Devin. She deserves to be with someone as us, whether it's a male or a female. It doesn't matter so long as she actually finds someone to be with. Obviously, I would love to see
Mhm.
Mika finally get her revenge on Tiffany. Maybe she might get some robot legs now she has some robot arms.
Yeah,
Because I love that scene where she actually is in Times Square and she tells
I
Tiffany,
wouldn't be surprised
"I love your hair," sort of like a Jason Bourne thing.
if she's watching her.
I thought that was very
Yeah,
funny.
it's very. Yeah, I'm very interested to see if. And Nika's hell bent on revenge, and you can't blame. And she was real sorry that she shot one of the kiddos, but she wasn't sorry that that she was just sorry that she didn't get Jennifer, or didn't get Tiffany. But she was sorry. I liked her relationship with Glenn and Glenda. I really did. I thought it was a sweet relationship.
Oh yeah, so did I too. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. So obviously, like I said before, we're going to get Megan in next year, and obviously we're going to have this battle between the Killer Dolls. I'm pretty sure I know which team you're on.
I'm on team Chucky, but again, I said this before and I mean it. I wouldn't mind them getting together and then I kind of would like to see this love triangle with Tiffany, Megan, and Chucky because I'm that Chucky fan.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be looking forward to Megan. I mean, when that trailer dropped, and it was just like when you see the Megan doll dance, and it just said a whole bunch of TikTok videos of everyone trying to do the Megan dance. Oh man, yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
definitely looking forward for that movie to come out. I
I
mean,
don't
it
think
did.
it's gonna be Chucky.
Yeah, because even the movie studios, once they found out how much people were enjoying it, they actually pushed the release date up, which normally is not good when you have, especially horror movies, when they release in January, because that's sort of like the dumping ground. A lot of bad horror movies come out and release in January, but we've actually had a pretty good stretch of horror movies that released in January turn out to be very, very good. So hopefully, Megan will be that good as well.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm all we always for a film to do well. So, and this
Mm,
could be something too, and it could help. It could be beneficial to the Megan, but it also could be beneficial to Chucky as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
okay. Yep. So once again, I want to thank you very much for joining me again for season 2 of Chucky. If we get another season 3, we have to do this again and again. I apologize everyone for our Gory not being here. Unfortunately, as I said earlier before, she had to take care of herself. And like I always say, when you have other issues, other problems going on, take care of yourself first. we're always going to be there. We're always going to have another live stream. So always make sure to take
Exactly.
care of yourself first. And of course, when I do in my live streams, I would like to give you the opportunity, my guests or people on the
Exactly.
stream, to spill what's going on their channel. So, what do you and Christian have in store for your channel? Obviously, we know we're going to be on next Thursday on my channel for the horror hangout. But what do you have else going on your channel?
Well, we are getting into the Christmas spirits. Yes, it's that time for Jen to get in the booze. Woohoo! It's gonna get crazy up in here for the holidays. On the 13th, we are going to be starting a holiday and winter themed horror. And Christian came up with this idea, and I thought it was ingenious. While we are going to be tackling some of all the slashers to, axe the holiday blues away. Not necessarily Christmas movies, but some winter-based horror, the ones that are just going to chill you right down to your bones and stuff that you do. So, because a lot of people are going to be talking about holiday horror, so we decided to freshen it up. And so we're going to have our 12 little days of Christmas coming up on the 13th, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And like I said, Jen's going to get into the booze, so who knows what's going to happen.
Because he thinks you already got into the booth already.
Oh no, this isn't. I've been pretty restrained.
Hey,
And also
look,
tomorrow, on the Trash Picture Show, Christian and I will go. And Scrooge. We're going to be talking about all the incarnations of Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. So
that'll be interesting.
yeah. What about you, Monty?
Well, I just put up my review of Netflix's Wednesday. That is up right now on the channel. Very, very, really love that series. I was surprised how well I enjoyed it. And obviously, I'm pretty sure you heard of the great performance Jenna Ortega has made of Wednesday. She definitely deserves an Emmy nomination for the great, excellent job. Really did enjoy all 8 episodes. So if you have not seen Wednesday, please get a chance to see it. Have you seen Wednesday yet?
We're on we've seen 2 episodes. Christian and I are watching one a week. We're enjoying it, but we're not we have thoughts. We might do a video, but we got to finish it first. There are some things we like, there's some things we have a little issues with, but she does do a phenomenal job as Wednesday. But there are a few issues with it too. I can see why so many people are really enjoying it.
Yeah. And let's see, I got some trailer reactions I got to put up.
You know us, Monty. Christian and I always have to be the the ones that the rebels.
Hey, we wouldn't love you if you had disagreements of stuff that people love. I mean, that's what makes us, because there's stuff that I like that you guys don't like, and there's stuff that you guys like and that I don't like. I mean, that's what makes us who we are, and that's what makes us all YouTubers, such fine YouTubers. Because even though we might disagree on stuff, we still love each other and we respect what we have to say. Good to say. Yeah. So once again, everybody, want to thank everybody for coming on by and stopping on by, and hoping. And again, like I said before, it is the holiday, so please stay safe out there. And of course, as always, always remember that horror rules. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate everyone for coming by. And then once again, stay safe out there.
Happy